Continuing from the previous video, here we see that it's also possible to multiply. It's not possible. It's possible to multiply D by A, as long as their inner dimension match. Okay, and then for to calculate an inverse, then we can simply use functions called INV, and then we put the matrix within the brackets. Okay, and then we can also get an identity matrix by multiplying A with the inverse of A. Okay, and then we can also create an identity matrix which is created by a function called I in here. Okay, we can also set up a permutation matrix as well in the MATLAB. And we can also use a permutation matrix to basically switch the rows or the columns. And then we can also create an augmented matrix as well, or check the size of a matrix through a function called size. The next one in here is showing that how to solve a small number of equations. Okay, using the graphical methods, for example, we can solve a different equation. This one is equation 1, this one is equation 2. So the first equations in here is represented by this line in here. Okay, the second one is represented by this line in here. The point at which the two lines intersect each other will be the solutions of these two equations. Okay, so x1 is equal 4 and x2 is equal 3. What we have shown in there is only possible to be extended into 3 equations. Okay, where we have more than 3 equations, then we cannot use a graphical methods. But graphical methods, although it is limited to 3 dimension, it's actually important to visualize the properties of the solutions. There are some of the systems that can pose a problem when solving a set of linear equations is shown in figure 9.2, where A in here is there is no solutions because the line does never intersect each other. And then the second one is an infinite solution because they are basically equivalent to each other. Okay, so they basically intersects each other. And then the third one show an ill-conditioned systems where the slopes are very close, so that the real point of intersection is difficult to detect visually. Okay, and then we have another concept called determinants. Determinants is different with matrix in that the symbol in here refers to a line. It's not a matrix. And determinant is a totally different concept with matrix, because actually determinant refers to a single number. For example, the value of determinant for 2 simultaneous equations is expressed by this expression. Okay, and can be calculated by this. And then for a 3 times t matrix, then this expression in here shows how we can determine the determinant. Okay, the 2 times 2 determinants in here are called minors. Then we move on into a Gauss eliminations. Gauss elimination is designed to solve a general set of n equations. So what is shown by A, B, and C. Okay, there are 2 steps with this naive Gauss elimination. The first one is the forward elimination of unknowns. So basically, one by one, we are trying to remove this A21, A31, and then also A32, so that we get basically an upper triangular matrix like this. Okay, once we get this, we fulfill this forward elimination of an unknown, then we can find the value of the x3, and then we can substitute into the previous equations one by one on using a step called back substitution. Okay, this slide goes through the detail basically, and then this will be the back substitutions general formula. And it's best to basically discuss this, how to do a Gauss elimination in here using a particular example. So I will go and move into the node. So in this node in here, we show that there is a 3 equations, 1, 2, and 3. The first step will be to multiply the first equations in here with 0.1 divided by 3. Okay, after we multiply, we get these equations in here. Okay, then what happens is that we subtract these equations in here from equation number 2 to get these equations in here. Okay, likewise, we also do the same again. We multiply equation 1 in here with 0.3 divided by 3 to basically match, to basically get the same first term in here, 0.3. Okay, then we subtract 3 with 1 multiplied by 0.3 to get these equations in here. As a result, after we do these operations, we get this one, okay, that is substituted back into that set of equations in here. As you notice in here, we remove the first x1 from equations 2 and equation 3. Okay, then we continue again. In here, now we use equation number 5. We multiply by this term in here, minus 0.19 divided by 7.0033, which is this one in here. Okay, resulting in this particular expression. Then we subtract equation number 6 with 5 multiplied by this, or these equations, in order for us to get this 10.012x3 is equal to this equation. Okay, following these operations, then what we get essentially in here is upper triangular matrix in here. Okay, as you can see in here, all the lower level will be 0, 0, and 0 in here. Then we can find the value of the x3. Once we find the value of the x3, then we can substitute this value of x3 into this in order to get x2, which is what we did in here. So we get minus 2.5. Okay, and then after we get the value of x3 and x2 from these equations, then we input them into these equations in here to get the value of x1. Then we find that the value of x1 is 3. So basically now, after the back substitution, we managed to get all the value of x1, x2, and x3. And it's very important for us to basically resubstitute back those value of x1, x2, and x3 into these equations to recheck how close we are with the right hand side value in here. So based on the substitutions, if we do substitution, then we can get this value in here, which is very close to 7 or identical to 7.85. And also this value in here, and then also this value in here. Okay, so in here basically we have shown a little bit on the details of how you do the Gauss eliminations, but using a MATLAB functions, it will be easy and it can be done automatically. Okay, I shall carry on in my next video. Thank you for listening.